breathe, not with any agenda, not with any forced patterns, just easily. We breathe at a pace that feels natural, relaxed. As we do, we allow ourselves to feel that relaxation moving from place to place in our body. You might even choose to go from your toes up to your head, or from your head down to your toes. Just checking in with each space inside with a gentle inquiry of how are we feeling right now? And do we need to relax just a bit more? Wherever we feel any tension, any hesitation, any stress, we just take a moment and linger there and send it love. We maybe do that check again from head to toe or from toe to head, finding any spaces that need a little bit more momentary attention. Because we know with every breath that we are breathing in this relaxed and non-rushed way, that we are breathing the very breath of God itself. There is no spot God is not. We are in it. There is nowhere we have to go, nothing we have to be. We are God itself, incarnated into these individual bodies. We are here by divine purpose, exactly as we are. We are all one within the oneness, an individuation of divine spirit, source, energy, with a purpose here, a purpose in expressing that divine light that we are as we are moved to do so. We just allow that to happen. We don't need to force anything. We don't need to be anything in particular except for us, ourselves. We are a creation of the divine, made with intent, made purposefully to be this individual self that we have come here to express. Each individual self stepping into that oneness as only they can. So as we prepare to step momentarily into the silence, we do that with a gentle inquiry. Just the question, what am I to lovingly express? And we take that into a moment of silence. And with whatever might have arisen with that inquiry, we just hold it in our heart. Just cherish it there for a moment and know that we have all that we need within us to express what and who we have come here to be. We know without doubt the what is always source energy, divine spirit, Godness in skin. and the who we unfold as we learn and grow and use the tools that we find that help us express our fullest. Grateful for our individuality, grateful for our oneness. We say, thank you, God, and so it is. Amen. So Mike and I get to do this together sometimes, and we sit because, let's face it, this might be a little strange after a while to watch the back and forth between, and these chairs that we sit in actually, because we're going to be talking today about back to one, and we're stepping into June, which I will do this now. But happy Pride Month, everyone. June is Pride Month, and we are stepping into this month of embracing diversity, and I wanted to fly our Pride flag outside. We are not going to take any of the flags down, which last year, I know I had removed one thinking we could only put 3 flags up. I found that now we can add another one. So by next Sunday, you should see our Pride flag proudly flying to support all of our LGBTQIA plus members in Unity and members in our community and members in our world. And if anyone has a challenge or a feeling about that they need to discuss, I would absolutely open-heartedly love to have a conversation with you about it and help us move through any feelings, if there are any, about that, because we are here in unity. Spoilers, right? We say it all the time. The name is a spoiler. And so we are here in unity. And we have people sitting in this congregation who are only here because last year we were the Highlands County Pride Family Day location, and we flew a rainbow flag on our unity sign, and it was a beacon to them, and they found home. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
And if I can add to that, Trish, as a member of the LGBTQ community, I am so thankful to have a place that not only am I safe to be here and be myself, but I feel a part of this community, and it's a place that others can come and be safe and be seen and celebrated, because Pride isn't just about the LGBT community. It's about what we're going to talk about today, right? Oneness and unity, and that is what unity is, that everybody deserves the dignity and humanity of respect and being seen and being safe and being able to be the true expression that we all are of the divine. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful for this place, and it's changed my life. And thank you for being that place.
Thank everybody for being who you are. And that's something, you bring up a good point, because people focus in on the fact that rainbow flag is about pride, and what we will be flying is also the trans support flag that we will be flying out there, the newer version than just the rainbow. But what you will find if you've never been to a Pride event in your life is way beyond supporting people who are LGBTQIA. You will find a lot of people who go to these events that are on the autism spectrum, that feel somehow disenfranchised in this world, and have gleaned on to Pride activities as a place to know that they will be embraced exactly as they are. So it also includes people who have physical, mental challenges, people who are wired just a little bit differently, and aren't we all anyway, right? And so it is an all-embracing movement, not just one specific thing. So I don't even know where you and I are going to start with this. So every time we do this, we say that, Mike and I have breakfast meetings often. No, you can't come because we need the no-filtered ability to chat. and this is kind of like sitting at one of our breakfasts, but this one is really important to both of us as we step into this month, because we've also got Juneteenth this month. We've also got Father's Day. We've also got a lot of things that that help us embrace all. And so we wanted to talk about embracing it in here.
Yes. And it's funny how things are unfolding here this morning, right? Because all of those things you just mentioned might be things we celebrate, might be trigger things.
Right.
I mean, you know, Father's Day coming up, for some people, that's, you know, that brings up all kinds of things. So a lot of what we're going to talk about this morning is just that. How do we deal with those things as they come up? And I know that I have been doing, and Trish, I've been sharing with Trish, I've been doing a lot of work on myself of dealing with some trauma and things that I didn't even realize were being triggered, the patterns in my life that I didn't even realize were happening. And I don't think it was my home per se. I think it was my generation, especially being male. You didn't express emotions.
Right.
You just didn't. My dad was never good at that. I think that was from his generation. And so that's been a journey that I've had to be on. And one of the things that has really resonated and come home on my journey is that emotions are my superpower.
I love that.
And I've always thought they were my weakness. They're what I've got to keep down. I've got to hide. I got to try to control them. And what I'm learning is no, and Trish has done so much teaching on this, and I think this is just a natural progression of where we're at, that things come up in our daily walk. And I have learned to stop and say, okay, what am I feeling? Why am I feeling that? Is this a normal emotion that anybody in my circumstance would be feeling? Or is this attached to maybe something in my childhood or something in my past? And I've learned that is a opportunity for healing. And it's become so empowering as I've done that. And Trish wanted me to share that one of the new spiritual practices that I've done, and I enmesh technology with my spirituality. So I set reminders periodically through my day on my phone to pause and just, what am I feeling? And what does that feel like in my body? And where's that coming from and what that is? And it's been amazing how that has transformed not only how I'm living, but how I interact with other people. I'm becoming more compassionate to myself. I'm becoming more compassionate to other people, even those people who really rub you the wrong way. And so and the weird thing about it is I'm starting to welcome the triggers. I'm starting to welcome the sandpaper rubbing me the wrong way, because it's opportunities for growth. And it really is all bringing it back to the oneness that we want to talk about this morning. And I've talked long enough.
No, I like it. I like it. And Tim, wow, where'd that come from? Mike has a wisdom that I so love and cherish. And it's, we joke that we balance each other physically, we balance each other in so many ways. It's such a wonderful gift that we have Mike here to be with us and to explore these things, because I love the way you look at the world, and I love the way that you explore it and that you allow the vulnerability to go there. One thing when you were talking about the feelings too is, and it's something that we all need to keep in mind as we go through, is it is what am I feeling? It is where am I feeling it in my body? Because that gives us a little bit of a clue as well. If you're feeling something in your gut, it's a little different than feeling it in your head. Or if you're, I know that there's some people like, every time I get sick, it hits me in the throat. I've heard that with every time I get sick, I get bronchitis. Or, every time I get sick, I get headaches, or I get a fever, or I get this. Pay attention to that. There is a woman, Louise Hay, that actually many sitting in here may be Hay fans. Louise Hay is I see lots of little smiles. Louise Hay talks about the fact that where you are feeling something in your body, again, and we talk about that it's the triggers, right? It's about changing our relationship to those things, knowing that's that notification. So not only is it a notification that, wow, I am really ticked off right now, but it's also, I'm ticked off and my back hurts. Wow, that's weird. I'm ticked off and my back hurts. Why would that be? Or what? So Louise Hay would point to I got you, Maureen, didn't I? Maureen's ready to come up and finish the talk. No, but it's about and there's a line with this. So if you have a sudden sore throat and you think it's because it's immediately you think, oh, I didn't say something I needed to say to someone. Okay, or is it that you hung out with somebody that had a cold yesterday and you might have a little scratch in your throat today? So we want to be realistic about these things. But at the same time, there is truly something to where we hold our wounding and our triggers and where it brings us in our body and in our life. If we can stop being habitual about things and just asleep to them and just, oh, well, I better go get some lozenges because I always lose my voice when I get a cold, It's about the awareness of where it is, and if we really feel into that, where is it in our body? Why is it happening? As Mike said, I love that he's saying my emotions are my superpowers, because it's about changing our relationship to discomfort. That's it in a core. That's where the key to our oneness is, when we can figure out where we're being pulled out of oneness because something hurts or we feel alone or we feel scared. That's our notification that says, wait a second, God is here too. Let's surf this together and find out where it's coming from and how I can heal it. And there's power there. That's, yes, when your emotions become your superpower.
Yeah, and to hit on the point you said, sometimes emotions are just emotions.
Right.
They're just feelings of whatever, and so it's not always connected to something deeper. It's just, okay, this is what I'm feeling because, somebody just cut me off in traffic and, it made me angry,
Yeah.
And at the same time, one of the things that, and going back to in my past, and I didn't even realize that I had some of these beliefs about emotions, and this has been part of the work as well, that to me, emotions are messy. I didn't know what to do with emotions, right? And life gets messy, and that's part of it. But yet, at the same time, one of the greatest truths that I have gotten out of unity, and it is this whole oneness idea, that no matter what is going on in my life or in my world and around me, underneath it all is the ultimate reality of what I call God, that is perfectly whole, complete, the allness. And so that is the ultimate reality, that within each and every one of us, where that fish in the water, that the fish is seeking water. No, you're in it. You're not going to find it. You're in it. It's all around you. And that's what I call God. And no matter where I'm at, no matter what I'm going through, there is that place. There is that foundation of the allness, that I am whole. In my spiritual essence, I am whole. And I'm not trying to become whole. Really, spiritual growth to me is about subtracting the things that I've gained in life, my ego and ways that I protect myself. I'm subtracting those things, getting back to that wholeness and that awareness of that wholeness, because it's always there. And what I love is when I get, and I've had a very stressful couple weeks at work, and when I take these pauses during the day, that's exactly what I do, and it's what we do in meditation, right? Is I go within to the allness, to that presence of peace and wholeness, and I recognize that's who I am ultimately, and it enables me to subtract some of the messiness that life, that is how it's manifesting in my life.
Well, and Mike shared a master teaching with me that I want to make sure that he shares with you today when we were at our breakfast. And he said, in every moment, in relationship, in stress and strife, before we respond, and it's also about moving from reaction to response. There is a space, something comes to us and we have an immediate reaction, but you don't have to go with that. We have impulse control and all of this, well, hopefully. And you can pause. There is power in our emotions. There is power in the pauses. And if you can pause, you can ask yourself this question. And I wrote it down and I've got it near my desk and everything because it was so powerful a truth to me, and I want Mike to talk more about it. He said, in every bit of this, we need to ask ourselves, are we coming from our oneness, or are we looking for our oneness? And would you talk more about that, please?
Yeah, because in life, and we all can get there, and let's just be honest, we all do get there. You know, there's no graduate course where you finally arrive and you just got it all figured out, and then you're the master.
Right.
Some days I do better than other days. And so some days I find myself looking for my comfort, for my wholeness outside of myself. And really, and we know this, AA teaches, that talks about the higher power, and that's really what we're talking about. We're talking about this oneness, and where we are either living from our wholeness, we're coming into relationship from that wholeness, that peace, that place, or we're trying to manipulate really and control the outside world and try to find our wholeness. Our wholeness is not outside of us. You're not going to find it in a relationship. You're not going to find it in any thing you can buy. You're not going to find it in food. You're not going to find it in sex or a drug or anything. But that is really what we're trying to do. Some people talk about you're trying to fill that God-shaped hole, right? You're trying to bring something in because you want to feel whole and complete. And so I catch myself when I'm reacting to something, and I won't overshare in this part, but I too am dipping my toe into the dating world, and I have been talking to someone, and I find that they're bringing up a lot of things in me, and I find myself going into judgment. And I find myself trying to put my expectations on this other person. I'm judging them based on what I would do. And I realize, no, that's looking on the outside. I don't need someone to complete me. What I want is someone to journey with me in my dating life. So I need to understand that I'm already whole. Now there's some messiness that I'm working on. And it's happening. Life is that way, and really it's grace. We don't want to call it that because things come up and you're like, wow, that again? It's actually grace saying, hey, this is still here. I want to subtract this from your life. I want you to grow beyond this. I want you to transcend this part of your life that's been holding you back. And because at the core, we're whole.
Well, yes, and it's an invitation. I mean, that's the thing. We can make, I have come from the school of, and I say it here quite a few times, that, when you make a declaration to the universe, I'm going to go find a relationship and be in relationship, or I'm going to be a great father, or I'm going to be the best employee, or I'm going to be, whatever it is. I'm going to be so much better with my money, and I'm going to be prosperous. Whatever these declarations are that we're making, and I had a teacher who would teach me this. Okay, so once you make the declaration, the universe goes, oh, okay, I heard that. Now, let me set up a situation for you to prove what you just said. Except the way that I learned it was, well, when you make a declaration to the universe, get ready because all sorts of crap is going to come at you. You see what I mean? There's different ways to look at that. There's different ways to be in relationship with that. Yes, that's what's going to happen. We make a declaration and the universe gives us an invitation to keep our declaration. If you see that as the enemy, if you see that as, oh, well, now I want relationships, so I'm going to have all this crap come up about relationships. Well, yeah, and guess what your relationship's going to be like? Crap. Because that's the part of your focus. So it's like we're wearing prescription lenses everywhere we go in life. Sometimes we need to update the prescription. And we need to look at things in a different way. It's so funny. It's like you drive with your car windshield, and every once in a while, the light hits it just right, and you think your windshield's really clean until the light hits it just right, and you're like, oh my gosh, it's filthy. I got to clean my windshield. It's like that with our relationship to what's happening inside of us. If something inside of you comes up and your first reaction is, I hate this, or fear, or, oh, here we go again, give yourself the opportunity to pause there, follow that back to where it's coming from, and then say, hold on a second. I'm being offered an invitation here. I'm not being chastised. I'm not being attacked. I'm being invited to step in a way I haven't stepped before.
And I'm reminded of a scripture where Jesus said, I have come that you might have life and have life more abundantly. See, he was an and teacher too.
Right?
And,
yeah.
And because the universe, God, the Christ within us, whatever terminology you want to use, is committed to you expressing your highest good, the fullness of who you are. And so really any of those bugs on the windshield that's obscuring that, it's committed to helping us clean that windshield. And it is an opportunity. It is a positive thing. And as I was saying, I'm finding that these opportunities, I'm starting to welcome them because I'm like, I'm coming out better. You know, the program I'm over at work, basically the end of this month, the program goes away. It's been around for 30 years, and this has been a big hit for us as a team and as a staff. And all through these last few months since we've known this, I've had staff members asking me, Mike, what's going to happen? What are you going to do? And I've just told them, I don't know how it's all going to unfold, but I know it's going to be good.
Yeah.
It's going to be for my good. And that's what we can trust, because this allness, this oneness, it is love. It is prosperity. It is all of those things, and it is our highest good, and that's where we're headed.
That's the invitation. That's absolutely the invitation. And if we can see it that way, if we can update the lenses, and if we can see it as an invitation and not a threat or a slap on the wrist or whatever it is, if we can shift that relationship, if we can become more comfortable in discomfort. Discomfort isn't good or bad. It's not good or bad. Even if you make the best, most exciting choice in life, and you're getting ready to move to a new place, or a new relationship is starting, and you're so excited about all of this stuff, there is discomfort because it's different than what it's been. There's this new learning of a new way of being, of incorporating someone else into our life, and there's a baby walking in the room, and we all have to look too. Yay! Hi, you guys. Thank you for coming. It's good to see you. Oh, that baby's growing. Oh, my goodness. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming. So it's all an invitation. We get to decide whether we're terrified of it or whether we're going to walk through the discomfort of it and do what it takes to let it bring us to our highest, because that's what it's there for.
Absolutely. And I do want to say, I think this is an important point as well. We're not downplaying the emotions or the difficulties or the challenge. And one of the parts of this spiritual practice I do, and you were talking about what part of my body, I do that, but I'm giving space, and I'm actually loving on myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what? You are worth whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through. I'm going to give space to that. I picture my little inner child. I call him Mikey. I just picture myself, when I'm doing this, sometimes I just picture myself holding him and just loving him and saying, you know, and there's healing in that. It's amazing the power behind that. So we're not talking about spiritual bypass.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.
We're not talking about, hey, what you're going through, it's going to be for your good.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Just, you know, no, that's not what we're saying. Right. Don't act your way out of something. This isn't about fake it till you make it. That's not what we're talking about. If it hurts, go where that hurt is, be in that hurt. And again, that's when we get to say, I'm here for you. I know that this is my inner 6-year-old that was abused in this way, that is bringing this out. And so I'm going to take a minute with that part of myself, and I'm going to compassion that part of myself. Or this is the person who was abused in a relationship, or who was left or abandoned, or what is, whoop, there it is. That's what's coming up for me. That's why I'm yelling at this new person, acting like they're this old person. because it's the same kind of situation coming up for me again, except this time I'm going to go in and find my little 6-year-old and say, I love you so much. And you know what? I'm 59 now. Got it right. Okay, there we go. I'm 59 now. I'm not 6 anymore. You don't have to stay in here holding that wound for me anymore. We have made a lot of time and a lot of decisions between now and then, and you don't have to be here. You go be a kid. I will take it from here. Yeah, it hurts. No, I don't like it. And I know that it's here to teach me something. So in my 59-year-old self, not my 6-year-old that's going to lay on the floor and have a tantrum, I'm going to embrace this and I'm going to say, oh my gosh, thank you for showing this to me. I don't like this right now, and I might need a minute, or I might need to walk away, or I might need to take some time for myself, but I do want to address this, and I do want to understand why I just went off on you because you put cayenne pepper in this dish and I didn't like it.
I think another important part, and this is what meditation does again, going back to that oneness, is, and actually it was sort of funny because I had just heard someone say this, and then a couple Sundays ago, Michael Gott was teaching on this too, and I'm like, okay, I get it. This was meant for me. You know, it's easy to go, when you're triggered, you go into that back part of your brain, that fight or flight or freeze part of your brain. And automatically when you do that, you shut off the thinking part of your brain. So you don't make good decisions when you're in that place of just pure emotion, right? But if you pause and you take 3 or 4 or 5 deep breaths, it's proven, and this is science, this isn't just spirituality, that it automatically flips the switch of your brain from that back lizard part, that fight, flight, or freeze, to the front part of your brain. You actually turn your brain back on to think. Yeah. So that pause that Trish was talking about, and really what we're doing is you're getting back to that wholeness. But that's why it's so important to meditate and to take those pauses and that time to center yourself, to ground yourself in that presence, because it actually physically changes your life as well as every other way.
And it's powerful. Yeah. And I think, it's about embracing all those parts. It's about embracing those disenfranchised parts of ourselves that we call bad because they hurt. Well, they hurt because they were hurt. They need us to remember the fact that we've made it through whatever that trauma or that trigger came from. We're here now. We have made it through it. So we're safely here. We can then, it's just like if you had a child and you wanted to nurture them through the tears or whatever, we can go back and say, I am here right in this moment, in this space, in this time. I am safe. So I can go back and compassion those parts and help to heal those parts. Yeah, it may hurt. Yeah, it may be scary. Oh, let me call Trish. Can I meet with Trish? I had someone this week that was just barely hanging on to not flying into 1,000 pieces. And thankfully, they called and said, can we please? Do you have a few minutes? And we took a couple hours and found that center again, and found the space where we get to, and sometimes you need to rage and cry and punch pillows, and that can happen because we have to authentically process it. What you won't be with will never let you be. It will just keep coming up like holding those beach balls under the water. You can only hold about 2 or 3 beach balls, and then you can't do it anymore, and they all come popping up. And when the beach balls come popping up, you may be standing in front of someone completely different than the beach ball started with.
And I'm going to paraphrase, but Jesus said in the Gospel of Thomas, basically, what's in you will either save you or destroy you.
Wow.
It's basically how we process, how we deal with things, and the one thought I want to leave you with is there is always that wholeness, that completeness, that allness that's got you. There is always that higher power in you that has always got you.
Amen. Amen. I can't think of a better way to end it.
All right.
Thank you all. Just remember, ask yourself, are you coming from oneness or looking for oneness? Are you standing in your wholeness or looking for where to stand to find it? It's already here. Pause, center, and grow. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today. Please visit www.unityofsebring.org for more information, to submit a prayer request, or to donate to our ministry. We hope to see you again very soon.